Hi, everybody. I'm Chicago Psychic or Psycho. I don't know, Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic. And I'm so excited. I have Kim Copeland, mediumkim.com, if you want to talk to her. And her YouTube channel is Medium Kim. Go on her channel, join, subscribe, and give a thumbs up. Hi, Kim.
Hi, thank you, Mel. Great to be here. Great to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Kim is coming to Italy with us in October,
Woohoo!
and we were
Yeah,
talking about it.
I can't wait because I've been wanting. It's been on my vision board a couple years now, and I Italy, and then we talked. So yeah, gotta go. And you're making it easy because I don't have to plan anything.
You know, the Mayflower Cruises and Tours, I'm going to plug them. They do it all. You know, they write the air, they do everything. All you have to do is pack.
That's what I want to do. That's all. I don't have to worry. That's going to make it so nice. And I don't. Do I have to speak Italian?
No,
Okay, there. That's another bonus.
all of the guides speak English, and all the village tours, you know, we'll do different villages every day. And I call them psychic adventure tours because they're traveling with psychics or a psychic, but in this case too, maybe more. But everybody wants to know if we're going to do seminars or readings. The answer is no, we're not going to work. My job and Mayflower's job is to make sure that everybody that goes on these trips has the absolute best time in your entire life. And so,
Ooh, I can't wait. Really, truly, this is going to be so fun.
in the beginning, everybody's really uptight.
Uh-huh.
And what happens is they just, they put the computers away, they put the cell phones away, except to take pictures. And by the second day, everybody's like laughing and having a good time, letting their hair down, no judgments or anything, and just having a good time.
Oh,
So,
nice. I'm really, thank you so much. Really, what a wonderful gift that you're doing to provide these tours for
well, I
people.
just put the groups together. Mayflower is the tour operator, but they have some very, very good tours. And so I kind of
Yeah.
things that, I think people would like.
But yeah, the thing is for people who are single like myself, you know, and want to go with other people rather than just go by myself and then not know where I'm going. Yeah. How
I
much
have
more
a lot,
fun?
I have a lot of singles coming, a lot of people from YouTube, some people that I know. And when people call to inquire, I only ask people that I want to travel with. Um, but for the most part, it ends up being just, I mean, they're always fun trips, but it's funny that people that go on these trips, sometimes they've never met each other, they don't know each other, but they make friends and they stay friends.
Yeah.
And so that's really
Yes.
cool too.
I've
So
noticed that before with other trips I've taken.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Thank you, Mel. Really, that's wonderful.
Coming. I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. So Kim, tell me, when did you realize you were psychic?
Oh, well, I realized, I mean, I think I knew it when I was a kid, but I knew it as a different way, in a different way. I just knew things that were going to happen, but I didn't like say I called it psychic. But I will say my mom, was a practicing astrologer and numerologist, and she was taking kind of psychic development classes back in Greenwich Village, a long time ago. And then my grandmother was a medium channeler. So, I mean, I kind of grew up in a household that was sort of normal. So I've never thought of it as abnormal.
Oh,
But
so you
yeah,
were claircognizant. Claircognizant means the Claire sisters, I call them. It means
uh-huh.
we don't know how we know or what we know, we just know.
Yes, right. Right. But it was not around 95, though, in 1995, that I started really developing. I started shamanism and just all kinds of different healing work, massage therapy, healing touch, Reiki, eating energy medicine. So I really did a lot of healing work, and then, psychic, and then mediumship.
Your story
And
sounds like mine, kind of.
really?
Well, when I was a kid growing up in Kentucky, my dad was very intuitive. I use the word intuitive and psychic interchangeably, but anyway,
Yes. Yes,
but
me too.
he would have dreams that would come true, and he could hold a stick and find water. So it's just something I could always do. And I think I was 12 years old when I learned the word psychic. And then one of my friends, his grandmother was a spiritualist.
Uh-huh.
And that really interested me. And I remember when I was 13, my grandmother bought me a Ouija board. And, don't everybody go, oh my God, Ouija board.
Yeah.
My grandma and I used to play the Ouija board. And we weren't afraid, She said, honey, you're protected. My grandmother used to say the dead ones won't hurt you. It's alive when you got to worry about.
I love that. Oh my gosh.
And so, it was normal for me too. It was like breathing or walking or dancing. It just came natural.
Yeah. I've never been afraid or, like, oh my,
Me,
never.
it, did you sleep with the light on when you were a kid?
No. Uh-uh.
I did. But it's funny. I studied with a spiritualist. I've studied shamanism for years. I've studied Hawaiian stuff for years. I've studied healing modalities, Reiki, things like that. So I just think it's just part of our metaphysical journey
Yes.
to learn different metaphysical tools.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. And I think I kind of mentioned it to you. Now my thing this year, I'm focusing on trance. It's
Oh,
just a deeper trance. It's just deeper than the regular mediumship, right? Or regular psychic work. It's going, so yeah, and I'm really enjoying that so far.
well, I'm an old spiritualist from way back when. I mean, I don't practice it anymore, but my earlier training was sitting with a spiritualist in a dark room.
Yeah.
Nobody talked.
Uh-huh.
And then they would ask you to give messages. And if you said, I'm not getting anything, they didn't take that as an answer. It was like, no, what spirit?
The dark room. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Dark room.
Yeah. Wow. Kind of like a cabinet, right? Making a little cabinet, sort of.
It
Yeah.
was.
Okay.
But there's different types of trance mediumship. There's
Yes.
dependent voice. That's where the spirit uses our voice. There's independent voice, um, which independent voice means the spirit uses they come out of trumpets, so they say.
Yes. Trumpets. I've seen those trumpets. I've heard about those trumpets.
And then there's full trance mediumship where you're in a trance, and sometimes there's where you remember.
Yeah.
There's amnesiac where you don't remember.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so there's different types. So
Right. The physical trance, and then there's a healing trance too.
okay, so I'll let you explain the difference in those.
Okay, so the healing trance is where you go into a trance state, or fairly deep state, and it's getting deeper than, say, when you're doing some energy work, you're kind of involved, right? When you're doing the work. I mean, like sometimes I use my selenite sword, and
Okay.
I'll do, I'm knowing what I'm doing. I'm working on certain things. But if I go into trance, I'm getting out of the way totally and letting the spirit people do it. Yeah. And then physical trance is where, you know, I very few people in the world do this, where the ectoplasm and all that kind of stuff. It sounds really creepy in a certain way.
Years ago, we called that materialization, where
Okay.
the idea was a spirit would use ectoplasm, which was supposedly some kind of substance that came from the medium's body to
Right.
materialize. I've
Yes.
seen spirits before, but typically I sense them or I feel them.
Oh, yeah, I see them. I see them and feel them.
I see them in my mind's eye too, as well.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Subjectively, objectively.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
yep, yep.
yeah, I'm glad you're doing the trans work.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Good.
I'm every week I'm doing I'm a constant learner. I haven't stopped.
I still continue to learn, and I love learning.
Yes, yes.
Um, so, uh, okay. I like some of the questions you ask here. I told
Okay.
him to send some questions she wanted to talk about. And I like this one because I get this question a lot. Are psychic gifts bestowed only on special people?
Are you asking?
Well, I know the answer, but I'm asking.
No,
No.
absolutely not. We all have psychic gifts. We're born this way. We are born this way. Some people are better at one thing, just like some people are better hearer, some people are better seer. Same thing with your psychic gifts. Some people are more feelers or knowers. I think that the new most people now that I think the upcoming clair is the claircognizant. I feel people are getting stronger in that now, but and it's just, of course everybody has it, but I think society sometimes teaches it out of us.
Well, they teach us, when we're young, we have no filters. And then as we
Yeah.
get older, society teaches us the filters. But then when we get to be my age, I'll be 69 next month, the filters diminish and we start.
69. Oh my gosh. I thought
No,
you were
this month
younger
I'll be
than me.
69. I'm sorry.
I thought you
You thought, what?
were younger than me, I thought.
Keep up the good work. I'll bring you home.
Well, I'm 63. I'm 63.
Well, you look like you're about 50. So,
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. It's the onion filter.
it's the mayonnaise.
Onion skin, the onion skin on
I love it. I think we all
I put the onion skin on my face.
don't say Botox to me. I think we all have psychic ability. Everybody does. I think some people have it stronger than others, but we all have it. And you're right. I think, I hear people say, oh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could do this as far as psychic ability. And my response is honor what you have.
Yes.
And, the psychic things will come to us in ways that are unique to us. If we're visual, it'll typically be clairvoyant. If we're more auditory, it'll be clairaudience. That means clear hearing, clairvoyance, clear seeing. If we're feeling, it'll be more clairsentient or clairsentient, however you say it. So it depends on and I agree with you, it depends on what the person's unique talents are.
Right. And then they can be developed.
Correct. Well, here's what I tell people. I tell them, I can't teach you to be a psychic, but what I can do is show you ways to hook into it that'll help to enhance what you have.
Oh, yeah, that's lovely. That's a great way of putting it.
All right. Here's another. I'm just asking you your
Okay.
question.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. What are signs that we have gifts?
Okay.
Marcus?
Okay. So when little things are going to be, there's subtle things as you go in your life, you'll notice, oh, I knew that before I know who it was before the phone rang, right? Before I even had to pick it up, I knew who it was. I mean, these things that happen, or maybe your precognizant dreams, right? You have dreams and then it happens. So when you're noticing these little things, don't take it for just as an accident, but take it as, oh, wow, I do have this is something that's a gift to me, and to treasure it, to honor this, to like, wow, and believe that you have it. I think that's what people think. Oh, no, believe it.
Correct. Well, I think people get hung up in what one of my students called analysis paralysis.
Okay.
So, you get the information, and it's that first thing that comes through. And then we think, is this me thinking this? Is this for that person? Is it for me? And blah, blah, blah. And then we get so hung up into the analysis paralysis that, we miss the message.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I got to stay out of the mind and stay in the heart.
Correct. Good. I like that. Good.
Yeah.
Stay in the heart.
Stay out of speak from the heart and know from the soul.
Oh, I like that. Do psychic gifts usually run in the family?
I think they often do.
They do. I think.
Yeah. I mean, because I know my grandmother, my mom, my grandmother, and then my grandfather. You know what I mean? I know. Yeah.
My dad was very psychic. In fact, when he was in the hospital, he told my sister and I had a dream that I died in an ambulance on my way home. We're like, what? And that's exactly what happened 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
They found out he had cancer and they just closed him up. But, he had undiagnosed coronary artery disease.
Oh,
And all
my
of his
God.
brothers and sisters died of heart. I've got the disease too, but luckily they found mine before it killed me. But anyway, he was on his way home. No, he said, I had a dream that I died in an ambulance on my way to the hospital. That's what he said. So he was on his way home from the hospital. They had given him chemotherapy, but he had undiagnosed coronary artery disease, and the chemotherapy caused him to have a blood clot, which went to his heart.
Oh, wow.
And he went unconscious, and they called the paramedics. And the paramedics were doing CPR, but he died on the way back to the hospital.
Oh, that's so sad.
But
Oh,
well, I think it was better that way than to die of lung cancer.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it was
true.
still spread everywhere. It was just really bad. So
Yeah, if I had to pick a way, I think I would pick heart.
it was a blessing, really. But he told us, and we didn't say, "Oh, don't say that," and it happened. It was like 3 or 4 days later. In fact, the day that he died, my family lived in Kentucky, but I was here in Chicago, and I was sitting on my porch, and I saw my cousin drive up, and there were not cell phones in those days. This is back in 1988, and I saw my cousin drive up, and I said, "Why are you driving up?" She goes, "You need to go in the house and call the hospital. They just called me." I go, "Why would they call you?" And she goes, "Where have you been?" I said, "I'm sitting on the porch." And I looked at her, I said, "Did they tell you my father died?" Because at that exact time that he died, I had a vision, a clairvoyant. Clairvoyant means clear sight, a vision of him in a coffin. And I'm
Wow,
thinking, oh my God, that's a horrible thing to think. When my cousin drove up and told me, I went upstairs and I called the hospital. My sister came to the phone and she was crying and she said, "Dad just died." And I
wow,
said, "How long ago?" And she said, "About 10 minutes." And that's the time I was sitting on the porch, and that's the time I had the vision.
wow. Oh,
Oh, he'd gotten to the hospital 10 minutes before that. He was dead.
uh-huh. Okay, wow.
Um,
Interesting. You know, before my dad died, 6 months ahead of time, he gave me there was a dream, and he came and he was wearing this black cowboy shirt, and I could only see the top half, and he kind of went up in smoke, and he didn't even know he had cancer then.
wow.
And
So,
then 6 months later, he died.
yeah, it's people say, why do psychics always predict like tragedies like that? And I say, well, we don't. We predict happy things as well. But psychic energy is fueled by emotion, I think.
Yeah,
If something
yeah,
that has an emotional charge, I think we can, for some reason, we're more attuned to that.
yes, yeah, and big things like that. Death is a big thing, right? That you know, yeah. Angels come and go out of the windows when people are dying. I've seen people coming in the windows when, just to check on us as they're leaving.
Exactly. Just to make sure that like we're not going with them or something. It's like, I've heard people say, "I'm not afraid to die. I just hope the good Lord's not taking up a load today."
Because I've been sitting at the bedside a lot with as a hospice nurse too,
Oh,
and and so people, it's amazing though. No matter what your belief system, there tends to be anxiety. It's universal.
of course. Yeah. So, tell me about being a hospice nurse. I was a social worker in geriatrics, and I did my psychic work at nights and on the weekends. And there were times when I would spend there holding somebody's hand because their family wouldn't come. And I thought nobody should die alone. And
Mm.
I felt the soul leave the body. Sometimes you actually see it.
Yeah,
But I guess my question is, that was the hardest thing for me. And I know there's life afterwards, but I would still get attached. And when they
oh,
would die, I would have this sense of grief. And I was like, after 10 years of it, I just couldn't do it anymore. I just did
oh,
my psychic work full time. So
I
how do
see.
you, I mean, how do you, I guess my question is, how do you, because I'm sure some patients you get really attached to. Other ones you're like, okay, maybe they're, God did them a favor. But the bottom line is, how do you deal with
Right,
that if you get so
right,
attached? And then they're in hospice, but how do you deal
right.
with that?
It seems to be easier to me that they're in hospice. But now I don't have my own pay. I mean, I still work 4 days a month, not too much.
Wow.
Um, but so I don't have my own. I don't have an opportunity to get attached now. But I think over the years that what I noticed was holidays were hard. And so I think, I remember I was looking into, like retirement and all that. And I think I even went down to the Social Security office. I said, I feel like, it's about time to retire. And they said, are you a hospice nurse? Yes. Because it can get heavy.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. And especially if you're, clairsentient or an empath or both, then it really kind of gets heavy.
Yeah.
But people say, how do you ground yourself from that? And I don't know if there's a way to ground from it. I just think you got to work through it and say, I did the best I could for them in their last moments on the planet.
Yes. I mean, and that's it. And being a medium, I'll see that what I see is a celebration, and that's what gets me going. That's the positive,
Right.
because I see them dressed up. I see them wearing their wedding outfit or whatever, the flower girls. I mean, the whole thing, the food at the table, all that stuff. And, the dogs in spirit all around. So that is the joy for me. And when I can, I bring that forward, and that kind of that wins over the negative.
Well, to use the vernacular, I ain't gonna dress in no suit and tie because I hate a tie and I hate a suit. I'm gonna be in some Aloha shirt that's comfortable with a pair of cutoffs, and my flip flops are barefoot with my dogs, drinking sweet tea under a shade tree. That's it.
Oh, sweet tea. Oh my goodness. From Kentucky. There you go.
Syrup, having my barbecue.
They don't have sweet tea in Oregon. Because I lived many years in Oregon. They do, of course, it's in the South, but not, you don't even hear about it.
It's funny, and up here in Chicago, my great niece comes and she says, y'all have sweet tea, and they look at her like she's got two heads. I said, no, they don't. Here's the sugar, put it in there. She goes, it ain't the same. I go, I'll make you some sweet tea.
It ain't the same.
It ain't the same. I go down to Kentucky and it's like, can I have iced tea? You want sweet tea? I'm going like, could I have it half and half? Because if you're not used to drinking it, it's really sweet. Like pour Karo syrup in your tea.
I want half and half, half and half.
Yeah, that's what I do. I do half unsweetened, half sweet tea.
Okay.
And then your blood sugar goes, you'll go into a diabetic coma if you're not.
I just try to avoid it altogether.
It is addictive though. It's really good, actually.
Okay, I know. Yeah. Ooh.
On a hot summer day, what do you do? That's why Kentucky and a lot of those southern states, when it gets really hot, they have two speeds, slow and stop, because when it's hot outside, you can't be real active, otherwise you dehydrate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. It's hot here, by the way, in Texas today. 80.
Oh God.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mel.
No, actually it was warm here today. It was 50. I mean, it was really warm for March the 1st, this time of year.
Okay.
But Friday we're going to get snow, so
Oh my goodness.
go figure.
And happy March. Happy March.
Happy March. Yeah, March 22nd is my birthday. Okay.
Oh, that's my mom's birthday.
Oh, is she still
Yeah.
is she still with us?
No, she's not. Well, she's still with us. She just doesn't have a body.
She's just on the other side.
She's listening right here. I'm pretty sure she's
I'm
sitting
sure
right
she's with us tonight.
here. She wants to make sure we say something good about her.
I like her energy.
Thank you, Mel.
I do like her energy, actually.
She's great. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Cross between Auntie Mame and Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm. I love her sense of humor. Okay. So what is the difference between psychic and intuitive?
Oh, well, in my point of view, not much, except for I think some people perceive it different. Some people perceive psychic as being clairvoyant, but you can have your psychic senses as anything.
Well, some people think clairvoyant is seeing the future, but it's not. It just
Right.
means clear sight. So you
Right.
can see something exactly, it's occurring halfway around the world. It could be a past event. It could be a future event. It's not, clairvoyance is not contingent on time. It's about the visual.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people mistake it for thinking it's predicting the future. That's actually called precognition.
Yes.
There is a difference. I'm an old spiritualist, like I said, and we look at every piece of intuition and psychic is a form of mediumship. And a lot of people think mediumship is talking to the dearly departed, but it really isn't. It's like communicating with your guides or your angels, or some people say ETs or whatever. Those are, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairgustance, clairambience, clairtactus. Those are all forms of mediumship.
Yes. Yeah. And you have to be psychic to be a medium.
Correct. You do.
But you don't have to be a medium to be psychic.
Correct. Correct. But I think that all psychic gifts are a form of mediumship. It comes in many different forms.
Yes, yes. And I love that you're because so many people say mediumship is only talking to the granny, only talking to departed loved ones. But I do believe it is in the between worlds. The mediumship means you're in between worlds, and you can have conversations with angels, guides, or the whole
Well, right. A medium just takes what comes from spirit and passes it on, the same as a
Yes.
channel. I use those interchangeably.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's all. So if it comes from our guides, all of our intuition comes from spirit. So when we give somebody a psychic message or an intuitive message, that's a form of mediumship.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people ask, you're getting a class in ESP or psychic development tonight. You probably don't realize it, but you really are.
ESP, that's such a great word. Okay.
And I use that interchangeably too. It's more the scientific explanation. So, all right. So we all know that everybody has it. All right. So I like this question. How many years does it take to fully develop one's gifts?
Good question.
Well, good question.
the older you are, the less years you have to develop it.
Yeah, right. Your time is short.
The rest of your life, right? I mean, you can develop it however many years you want. There's no end. I don't think there's an end to it.
Never stops.
It never stops. But what I've noticed, Mel, is that the last few years, people are developing much quicker. There's an explosion, right? This awakening that people are opening up, I think, becoming more intuitive quicker.
I think because it's more out of the closet.
Yeah.
Growing up in the late 60s and early 70s in the South, it was normal in my household. But, it was, if you talked about psychic, or you talked about, the things we're talking about, oh my God, it was of the devil, and you don't bring that up, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? And so I think nowadays people are more open to it.
That is true. I've really seen a change.
Yeah. And I think because, of the work that we've done in the past, I think it's paved the way for people to start coming out of the psychic closet a lot earlier.
Yeah. Yes. And it's transformative. People have such a much more beautiful life, I think, if they're aware of that.
I agree. Can I do readings for myself?
Not normally too good.
I have people say, oh, I'll ask my pendulum. I go, don't ask the pendulum for yourself or the cards for yourself. Because you're going to keep shuffling and pulling the cards to get the answer you want.
I know. Yeah, I do that. Exactly. Mel, do you do that too?
And then it doesn't work out and you think, it's not what my card said. Yeah, well, I have to shuffle the spots off of them to get the card I want.
I swear I do that. Yeah. I do like to get a professional reading, at least once a year. Probably.
Yeah, I think some people psychic shop or psychic surf, but some people are pleased with my readings, maybe some aren't. You can't please everybody, and maybe it's just an energy disconnect. I don't know, but I don't mean to shrug. I mean, when people say they're displeased with a reading, it does kind of hurt a little bit, but maybe I don't know, maybe I was off, or maybe they didn't hear what they wanted to hear. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's never 100% congeal,
Right.
for 100% of every person. No, you got to find, what I think is, when you find your medium, stick with that one. When that's the one that works with you,
Correct.
then rather than go around and all the different,
Psychic shop.
yeah, just like stick to the one that that's the one.
Because I get people to say, oh, I had a reading from so-and-so and they said this. What do you think? I go, no, 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 no. I'm not going to read on what somebody else did. I read on what comes through for me.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I agree with you on that too. That doesn't happen to me too often, but
Oh, here's a really good one. You asked
okay.
really good questions here. I love this.
Okay.
Can psychics read my everything about me, my mind too?
Only if they want to. No.
All in your head.
Yeah, I know. I do think that happens though. People think that is true, but no, because really we are uh, guided, and we have our guides, privacy, integrity, all, morality.
Right.
No, that's not the case. We only get what we need to get. And for me, when I'm with somebody, it's with intention that I'm working with somebody. I just don't go read anybody. I'm not reading my neighbor or doing traveling clairvoyance in their house and seeing what they're having for dinner or anything like that.
As long as it's not liver and onions. It's funny, when I used to date people and I would tell them I'm a psychic, that ran them off. And when I met my husband, in the beginning, he was like, I was so afraid of you. I said, me, or what? He said, I thought you were in my head. I go, well, how many secrets are you hiding? Trust me, it doesn't work that way.
Just
And I have people ask, like, well, when you go to the grocery store, are you picking up on people? I go, no, I'm thinking about what I'm going to make for dinner and what's on my grocery list.
exactly. I mean, really, it's with intention, because otherwise, if we're always open, we'd go crazy probably if we were open to everybody else's energies all the time.
And it's funny when people
Right.
out, I used to do a lot of television, and I'm always really polite. I try to be, and people would invariably, what do you see for me? And I'd be like, an appointment. I would be nice, but I'm like, I'm really not working right now. And some people would get offended, but I always try to be gracious about it. But, and I always would talk to people. But, what do you see for me? I'd be like, and I don't think people mean to be intrusive. I think they were just curious about it, and
Yeah, I know. It's funny. They think it's just like that. Like we just know everything. We know you. You know everything.
it doesn't work that way.
If I
And
knew everything, I wouldn't have made any mistakes in my life.
well, I mean, if I had it to do over, I'd probably do the same thing over. I love when people say, well, if you're so psychic, what's the lottery numbers? And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. All right. So no, we can't read everything about you. And I guess the reply to that would be, who'd want to?
Exactly.
I mean, I don't want to know your darkest secrets. I'm too busy dealing with my own.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. But isn't it fun? It's fun.
It is. It's fun.
Mhm.
I love what I do.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I like this one. Who created the creator?
You know, I kind of thought about that a little while ago.
The answer. I don't know the answer, but I'll tell you what came to my mind. The creator.
Oh, well, that's what I thought. The creator, but this is how I saw it. The creator created something, which created something more, which created something more, and it's like a spiral, creating something more and something more and something more. So it's like so you're creating upon yourself. It's all, I don't know. It's hard.
It's
I'm
infinite.
sure
It just keeps going.
infinite.
Just that infinity. It's hard to comprehend.
It is, especially my brain.
I guess if the creator was all powerful, could the creator create themselves?
I get yes.
Yes, right? Or maybe not. I don't know. It's paradox.
Well, I mean, maybe the creator is such that decided, well, I'm starting with a consciousness, but now I'm going to create a head, and now I'm going to create, or something.
I think we give it human form. I think we have
Right.
to understand it. I think it's a consciousness that's so beautiful and so immense we can't begin to understand it.
Yeah.
So it has to come in forms we understand, and it because we think in human forms, I think we humanize it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just light, right?
Correct. It just energy, wonderful energy.
It's just energy. It's amazing though. I mean, it is weird, isn't it?
It
It's weird.
is. You know, I've thought about questions like that, and it's like, whoa. I mean, it's almost like quantum physics,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
I can't even pretend to understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know, has Jesus reincarnated? I guess if he was perfect, he wouldn't have to.
Yeah. You know,
I think the energy, here's what I think.
yeah.
I think we go into spirit, our personality stays in spirit. The mana is not positive or negative, male or female, it's the life force. And that comes back to give life to a new form, whether it's dog, cat, human, whatever. So I think that mana comes back, but the essence, the soul stays in spirit.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Okay. I agree. I know what you're saying. Um, but I also feel like Jesus is living on earth through everybody. He didn't need to have another human body
I didn't.
because he's so big.
Or she.
She, right? Is so big that he's already. I mean, if you want to say reincarnated, you could consider that reincarnated in every single person.
Well, I think you're right. I think he incarnated when, he went into spirit, but he was already spirit in human
Yes.
form. So just because he lost this doesn't mean he ever went away. So if he never went away, was he really reincarnated?
Uh-huh. Right. Right.
It's a presence, it's an energy.
It's an energy. His energy is very present.
Of
Sure.
course. Well, in
Yeah.
some people it is. Other people choose to ignore it.
Right. Right. It's all about our awareness and what we choose to be aware of.
And I think it's the same with Mother Mary.
Yes. Same.
And I love this question: are the stars souls? Um, it's funny. We're made up, Jesus included and Mary included, of all of the things, the elements that are in the stars. It's just the way it's put together. So we really are stardust.
Yes. I know. I think so too. And a star has a soul, just like Earth,
Correct. Correct. And so,
just like a dog
correct.
or a
And
bird.
when we go, when we lose this overcoat, this once again goes to the elements that once again will be the things that create new stars.
Yes. Oh,
And it's a
how
cycle. It's that infinity cycle again.
infinity.
Creating the creator.
Yes. The creator's just going over and over. Yeah,
Because if you think of it, we are the creator.
that's right. I know. I agree.
Okay. How can crystals increase one's psychic abilities?
Okay, you want me to answer that?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
You're on.
Okay. Crystals have an energy, a vibration, and we are a vibration. Our energy field, we have an energy field that's a vibration. When you combine two things that enhance each other, it can enhance your psychic ability if it's a crystal that is inclined that way. Just like essential oils could enhance something if it's inclined, if it blends with you and raises you up. Some things are going to raise you down.
If it resonates with you.
Yes, in a positive.
Correct. Then it's
Resonates
like a
in
battery. It's like a battery.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I usually, I go to no, no.
Just don't push too hard. You'll put out your third eye.
I mean, I actually I don't do that, but I've been thinking, no, I should do that. I don't do. I should.
Uh, you could. Makes you feel better. Go for
I
it.
don't know. Sorry.
Um, Okay, some mediums say they cannot contact someone who recently passed away because the spirit needs time to adjust to their new environment, while others claim to contact them immediately, which is correct.
Yeah. I think it depends on you. Depends on which medium, whatever you're comfortable with as a medium. For me, it's very easy to contact right away. I mean, especially when I'm with people who are dying. I mean, they're right there. I mean, it's
Correct. I mean, as soon as they, cross over, I think they go directly to the light. I don't think there's any like 3-day period or whatever.
no,
Um, but for some people, it's easier after they've been on the other side for a while. But now this brings up a question, and it's probably getting way religious. I know how I believe, but just because I believe a certain way doesn't mean everybody else has to. So what about people like Hitler or certain politicians whose names I won't mention, or Pol Pot, or people that were, or Stalin, that killed millions and millions of people? What happens to them when they lose this overcoat? I mean, there's no answer to it, but I know what I.
right. I think, well, personally, I think they're still greeted by the light. And then, but they've got their own healing. It's going to just, there's a lot of healing that they're going to have to do. I mean,
I'm glad you said that, because my belief is I don't believe in a devil or a hell, like the burning kind of thing.
no.
But I think people that evil just cease to exist.
Oh,
Think about it. If there's nothingness when you die, isn't that pure hell?
that would be hell. Yeah.
That's
It's a repetitive. I feel like people that are in that way, they're in a repetitive state. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I choose not to kind of focus on those
just
people.
nothingness.
Nothingness, yeah.
So
But their soul, though, right? It's just the human, that spirit part of their soul that was here incarnated as that human is going to get into that nothingness. And that,
I think their soul ceases to exist.
oh, oh, wow.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong,
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
and everybody, please don't email me and whatever. It's just how I believe. But if you believe a certain way, that's your belief, and bless you for that. That's just how I believe. But
Yeah.
it
You know
doesn't
what
make
I,
it right or wrong.
right. But what I like about that belief, even though I haven't never thought of it that way, and I'm going to have to think about this, is that it's comforting. You know what I mean? It's comforting to know, oh, that makes it easier on the ones that are for the light.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you for putting it that way. That was very well said. A lot of people think do people like Hitler reincarnate? And I'm sure the life force does, but the soul ceases to exist. And then people say, well, I think we all have a choice to do right or wrong.
Mhm.
And I think that lies within all of us. Good or evil resides in all of us.
Yes.
I do think there are people who are born without a moral compass. They're called psychopaths or sociopaths, but not all sociopaths are evil people. They've somehow had, they've gained a moral compass. But those people who choose not to have the moral compass, then it's a choice, I think. But I think many people are just wired a bit differently. But there are true psychopaths, and they just
Mhm.
don't feel guilt, love, remorse, or whatever.
Yes.
And they misuse their power. But there's consequences for that, and karma to be paid for that.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's how I view it anyway. All right. Does everyone have out-of-body experiences each night?
I think there's a potential for that. I think it depends how much sleep they've got. And you know what I mean? Do they how deep is sleep? How many hours of sleep? So I think in general, yes.
Well, I do think there's out-of-body experiences, and I think when sometimes at night when we dream, we can go out of body. And
Yes.
sometimes when we feel that jerk, that means we're coming back in body. At least that's how I explain it
No, I
metaphysically.
agree. Yeah.
Psychology explains it differently, but that's okay too.
Yeah, that jerky. Yeah, that's what I always tell people that are dying too. They have the same thing in and out of the body, and they have that jerky
That,
coming in and out.
that kind of floating in and out, right?
Hmm.
All right. Um, can a parent identify if their child is an indigo child?
Sure, of course.
What if the parents don't believe in that?
Oh, well, if they don't believe in it, then they can call it anything they want. Whether they call it indigo or crystal or,
What
you
if they
know,
don't believe in any of the metaphysical stuff and they're just
well, then they may just, maybe their child will have to teach them.
I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not being
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I think how they will recognize it is the child will be very and intuitive and will know when you're lying. That's one thing. May also be very sensitive, not only to the if psychic awareness, but also foods, maybe clothing. I mean, there's that, being sensitive to everything, sounds. There could be that. Um, and just like the child that knows stuff, knows more, seems more wise.
they're claircognizant. They know, they don't know how they know or what they know, they just know. I
There's
think some
more.
parents stifle it because they're fearful, because
Ah,
they don't understand it. I
yeah,
don't
they
think
don't.
that might.
Yeah, that's too bad though. I'm hoping that that's getting less and less.
Well, there's still the people that'll think, oh, that's of the devil. You know, I hear
Gosh,
that a lot.
you do.
Oh yeah. I had a client come in once and she goes, I'm not here for a session. I'm here to save your soul. And I said, oh, well, if you want to talk to me for an hour, that's fine, but I'm still going to charge you. Well, I'm not paying you. I said, well, we'll call the police and have them settle that because you came in here on fraudulent pretenses and, that you lied. And I said, I have a blessing from the Pope for doing what I do. Oh, he's of the devil too. And she
Oh,
said, I heard you're gay. That's of the devil. I said, is there anything about me that you think is not of the devil?
that's amazing. Oh my goodness.
I escorted her out of my office.
Yes. Wow.
Like,
Quickly.
well, yeah. Then I sage it because I don't want that negative energy hanging around.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's terrible.
Oh, it's happened to me more than once. I've been around a long time. I started doing my readings when I was 18. And I'll be 69 in 3 weeks. So do the math. I've been doing them a long time. So I've seen it all. Um,
Amazing.
how can we advise parents whose child claims to remember a past life?
Oh, yes. Um, well, if you're asking me, I would say to honor what the child is saying, to be truthful. Just like if any, like the same way that they would say they're seeing a grandmother in spirit, the same way that they're seeing their fairy friend, the same. And if it's a scary past life, then I think maybe they can work it out somehow to whether it's a past life regression or something, so that they can overcome. If it is a recurring dream, for instance, or something like that, so that they can work out the trauma.
I would encourage them with it. I would talk to them about, oh, really? What I would be like, what are you remembering in that life? Tell me about it. Or like when kids are talking to an imaginary playmate, are they imaginary? I go, what's he or she saying? What are they? So
Yes.
I think, if you do that with kids, then they're not fearful.
Right. Just normalize it. Just normalize it.
Absolutely. We got time for a few more.
Sure.
Okay. Does ADHD affect the accuracy and filtering of psychic hits coming in, or did it just flavor the style of how it comes in, or both?
Good
That's
question, Mel.
really that's
That
from medicine.
okay, from Madison. I
Well,
think it might make a difference, but I don't really know exactly how.
I have ADD, and so I skip around all over the place, and I talk fast, and I got my nervous giggle, and you got to reel me in. But I think when I'm doing my work, we're getting so much information like that
Yeah,
really quick and in bits and pieces.
right.
And I try to get it out before I forget it. So I don't know. I think it's actually enhanced my work. I don't think it's really hurt it any.
I
It's
mean,
just,
I probably, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know that I don't know that you can generalize like that.
right, right. I
If you
think
like, if you have brown hair, does that make, or if you have an
that's a really
accent?
good point. Or if you had blue eyes, is that? Um, okay. Angel, I video orbs on my iPhone at home. Are these my past relatives' energy or angelic?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'd have to look at the orbs and see.
Right. I mean, typically for me, it's usually departed loved ones in the orbs.
Well, it depends. Sometimes it's loved ones, sometimes it could be guides,
Oh, well, yeah.
sometimes it's an affirmation if you're getting a psychic hit. It could be a lot of things.
Yes, yes, yes. And the way I see angels, though, I see them with wings, so I don't really see them in an orb thing. I see like sparkles and wings.
I see sparkles.
A lot of, yeah, the sparkles, especially when somebody's dying, right? They're all over it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And then I'll get a couple huge orbs coming, and that lets me know that's either a loved one or a guide coming to carry them over.
Nice. Yeah.
Uh, do you have any tips or advice on hearing messages from our spirit guides or angels throughout the day?
Take the time.
Thank you. It's that first thing that comes through, and a lot of people try too hard. And I'm like, no, it's always there. Sometimes it's subtle, but people want to get hit over the head with a ton of bricks, like, oh my God, I got to see them, or they're not telling me anything. I go, yeah, they are. You just got to pay attention to it.
Yes. And some people think, especially that clairvoyant, that it's like a movie or like, like you and me, but it's way more subtle than that.
It's very subtle. Sometimes it's that feeling, it's that clairsentience. That
Yes.
all right. Okay. Um, this is a good one by Kelly Scarborough. How
Okay.
does one know whether or not they have tapped into source consciousness?
Oh, that's a good one. Hi,
Those
Kelly. Yeah. Well, for me, I think that we're always tapped in to source.
are.
It's just whether we are aware of it or not.
This goes back to the following question. We're always tapped in.
We're always tapped in.
Okay. Um, Rose Almazan wants to know, is there a spiritual meaning to a preference of solitude over time spent with friends or family, even though they are loved dearly? I don't get that really. Is there a spiritual meaning to a preference of solitude over time spent with friends or family?
Thank you for that question, Rose. So I mean, I think she might wonder because I do know Rose,
Okay. Hi, Rose.
and she's very angelic.
I'm sorry, Rose. I'm just not getting it. So,
Well, I'm not even sure I have it either, but I just know where she is. She's always up with the angels.
okay.
And so what I want to say is I think some of us, it's so much more fun to be up with the angels. And if you're going within and you have your alone time, isn't that more pleasant than maybe sitting around with the family sometimes?
I don't know.
Oh,
My family, like my mom and my grandma and some of my aunts and uncles on mom's side are on the other side. I wish they were back so we could sit around and talk and laugh and joke and play cards, all of that. So,
yeah.
I think it all has equal importance, but whatever makes you feel more comfortable, Rose.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it doesn't mean anything significant.
No, it doesn't. It's whatever makes you feel comfortable. I mean, it's okay to be with the angels, but remember, we live in this world too. So we have to strike that balance a little bit.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Somebody asked, can I get my aura color, please? Thank you. It says feeling overwhelmed after losing my youngest brother during Thanksgiving holiday. I'm so sorry for your loss. But
Yeah.
he is around you. I see he's at peace, and I see his arms just wrapped around you, and he's holding you.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Um,
And I feel a lot of green.
well, green actually, some people say abundance, but the way I interpret it is healing.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
I see it as healing.
That's
So
how I feel. Healing. It feels like healing right now. And even as we say this, and I just want her to feel the healing energy because I since it's kind of heavy in her heart, just allow a little lightness. We're gonna just clear away some of that heaviness so that the light, more light can come into her heart.
uh,
Yes, sending you much love and peace.
yeah. Everybody send love and peace. There was not a name by it, but just
Oh, her
was,
name was her name is Thankful.
oh, thankful. Okay. Everybody send love and peace to thankful. All right. You know what? This has been so much fun. And
Oh, thank you.
I
I
really
agree.
want to do this on a regular basis.
Okay. Okay, Mel. We've got to do it.
Yeah, let's do
Absolutely.
and so Kim, if they want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
Okay. Quickly. No, just
No, I'm not in a hurry. I already had dinner.
okay. Mediumkim.com. Okay. Mediumkim.com. That's my website. And so that has my email. It could be kim@mediumkim.com is another way.
And how about your YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah. I have a YouTube channel, Medium Kim. I
Okay.
try to make it very simple. It's not large, not small, just medium.
Mine's just Mel Doerr Psychic. It's like,
Okay. I like that.
okay, so everybody go to Kim's channel and give her a thumbs up, subscribe. And you also, do you take members on your channel?
I don't, but I'm thinking about doing that.
Well, Spirit is giving you a message to do it.
Okay, because I thought about it in January and I said I'm going to do it in March. I really did say that. I said I'm going to do it in March.
Okay, so today's March 1st. It's a good day to do it.
This is the month to manifest new things.
Yay. Good. It's also
Yeah.
the month for a lot of things that have been coming to the surface to come to the surface and to see justice starting to be done.
Oh, it's big, big month. Everybody says astrologically.
I didn't get political, did I?
No, but I understand what you're saying.
My this has been again so much fun. I've enjoyed it. And before we started, the dog joined us for
Oh, Isabella.
Isabella is the sweetest dog. She's a golden
Come
retriever.
on,
Let's see if
girl.
we can get her on here to say goodbye.
I don't know if I can get her over here. Come on, girl. No, she's just looking at me like, nah,
She's
I
like,
don't know.
I'm not doing it.
Next time I'll have my treats with me.
There you go. Watch, as soon as I stop recording, she'll come over. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you, Mel,
Okay.
and
Uh,
everybody.